Yes, Massive and Crew back once again with another video, and today we are talking about continuing our vinyl discussion. Got some really interesting comments on the last video, and yeah, we're just going to go through some of those and check them out, guys. Gonna get the old Mac speech to read through so we can have a listen, and we can express some views and see what you guys think of the comments. So do comment down below and let us know. I'm using a new microphone today. I've got the Rhodes NT1. Let us know if the sound on the microphone has improved from the normal sound. I can hear a lot of low frequency on the old voice there, man. On this pop shield, not sure if it's actually doing its justice, but anyway, blah 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 about the mic. Let's go. So we get all these let's get these vinyl comments going and see what's popping.
Still like mixing vinyl. It's like fighting the elements to make a mix work compared to CDJs, which I like as well. Some of the expensive tunes on Discogs were really rubbish and unpopular back in the day. I guess that's why they are rare. Take Leroy from The Prodigy and the tune he did in '94. It's awful and no one played it when it came out, but it's expensive on Discogs. The SK Kick Upside Ep must be one of the best 1992 eps, given all 4 tunes are great, but that's not expensive. But the list of expensive 1992 white labels on Discogs is full of rubbish. I wouldn't have paid 50p for them back in 1992, but now PPL will pay £100. That's not always the case, but I went through a list of them last month and it was awful music. Still, if it's a track you have wanted for years and you find out what it's called, then it's easy to get carried away on the price. I know I have less reply.
Well, guys, what I've got to say to that, I mean, a lot of the tunes that are, back in the day, that weren't sort of selling that well were tunes that were kind of under promoted, in my opinion. And it was very hard because people didn't have like the internet to rely on to promote their music, so they relied on DJs. So if your networking wasn't right and the right amount of DJs didn't get behind your track, I mean, it didn't get much love, and as a result, it only sold like maybe 100 copies or so, or it didn't even, don't say 100 copies, it probably gave out about 100 test presses, and that's it. Maybe not fair to say exactly if the tunes are rubbish, but obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion there. So Richard T, thanks for your comment, mate, and big up on that one. So we've got Matt Prentice here. Just give us a little reply. It says here, have you been to a record store recently? So that was a question, yeah?
Only to dig for samples. I go to a place called the Record Parlor in Hollywood, round the corner from Amoeba. Record Surplus in Santa Monica is okay. If you wanna experience that kind of don't touch anything audiophile snobbery.
Audiophile snobbery, that's a good one, isn't it? Yeah, so I mean, have you guys ever gone into a record shop to grab samples? I know I for one used to do that a lot back in the day. There was no kind of other means of getting it, otherwise it was like videos and also music collections, old breakbeat records and stuff that people used to use. So big up on that one, Terry Clark. The cat's just knocked over something out there. Okay, so
yes, I go to Weymouth Outlet where Phil from Basement Records runs a shop.
Oh, cool. I didn't even know that Basement Record Shop was still going. Cheers for that heads up there, mate. Shout to Wax and Junglist there. Okay, so it says here, what's the most you have paid for a vinyl record and which tune was it? We had like 13 replies. Chief Golden Lotus. Let's have a look here.
The prices of original Jungle vinyl are not reasonable at all. Some of the bigger sellers on Discogs like Holy Grails, I'm calling you out, are doing the community a massive disservice by jacking their prices so ridiculously high, and for no real reason, I might add. If you're just starting out buying old tune now, I hate to say, but find the tunes you like and rip the digitals from YouTube. Save your money. Nobody has that kind of money to buy records. For me, living in Canada with shipping and exchange rates, an average priced record is the better part of $100 now. I've spent thousands of dollars on my collection. To spend that same amount now would get me maybe 1/5 of what I have. The rare stuff is just completely unattainable for 99% of us. Remember, we're just junglists. We have to work jobs and pay rent and bills and put food on the table. We're not fucking trust fund kids. Boycott all sellers with jacked up prices. The records are great, but let's be honest here, they are not worth that much. These sellers are just lining their own pockets because they have so much stock and other things to keep their business afloat that they can afford to sit on the jungle until someone has a fiending moment of weakness and clicks buy. Don't fall for it. As soon as one person pays the inflated price, then the seller feels perfectly justified. Then other people see what the record sold for and sell their copies at inflated prices, feeling perfectly justified. And that's where we enter the point of no return and overly expensive jungle for all. Oh, and most of these expensive records sit on the shelf for months to years, not doing anybody any good. If you do buy one, you've paid so much for it, now you're probably afraid to actually play it and only pull it out on special occasions. Again, boycott Holy Grails and any other seller with massively inflated prices.
So Chief Gololota says we should boycott people that oversell records. Do you guys agree with that? My personal view is everyone's got a business, they've got to name their price for what they're doing, and if it's worth their while, then they'll do it, as a means. That's all I can say, really. I can't really judge how much people should be charging for stuff. At the end of the day, if they feel that ramping the prices up are worth their time, then that's the way that they run their business. They'll say mind your own business kind of thing. I'm not gonna get involved in sort of dissing a man for selling it at a high price if that's what his time is worth, and he feels that that's what he needs to make it work. Obviously, if he's not going to sell any records at that price, he may just consider dropping his price. But at the same time, if people are willing to pay that sort of money for it, and if he holds out and eventually gets his price, then again he's going to keep the business running using that method. So let us know, peeps, what your opinions are regarding this. It's very interesting to see what people are thinking and and sharing in the community.
Vinyls are really poisonous for the environment. Fair enough to trade the ones we have, no need to put more poison in the world. And remember, do not throw them in the garbage. Normal garbage stations cannot handle them. They need to go to the appropriate waste places you have in your country for environmentally safe destruction.
So that opinion there says, we should keep the world eco-friendly, and that vinyl is causing pollution. Probably not as much pollution as the cows out there. I've heard that cow fart is actually responsible for most of the pollution in the world, more than the cars. So vinyl, I don't know what percent of pollution that may cause, but yeah, thanks for your opinion, bro. Josso1, big up, mate. How's it doing?
I've always bought vinyl and digital personally. I've got a couple of FX records that are worth like 300 and 100 quid respectively, but I'd never sell them. Too much sentimental value. I bought them at retail price, knew they would probably skyrocket, but I just like playing them. I think if I were to pay that much for a vinyl, it would have to be something genuinely rare and special. For your information, I think it was Notch that paid 20 grand for a lost AFX vinyl. But he's a nice guy, so he arranged to have it remastered and digitally released for all the people who had lost hope of ever hearing it. There were 5 copies in existence between 3 people previously.
Raw. So someone actually paid 20 grand for for vinyl. That is if you've got that sort of money and the 20 grand is worth not so much to you, then maybe, yeah, it's justifiable if you really want it, I guess. But that seems like kind of nuts. I don't think I could pay 20 grand for a piece of vinyl, man. That's just going too far. But yeah, thanks, Josso, for the heads up on that. Let's see what else we've got. Andrew Henderson.
Now this is an amazing topic. Allow me to answer some of your questions. For me, yes, I have sold off a part of my collection. This was back in 2001 and I still regret it to this day. I will never do that again. As for buying in shops, no, only because they have more or less all closed down out here in Toronto, or have converted into other things, like selling merchandise and equipment, instead of just records. I still very regularly order records online however. Most expensive record I ever bought, I would have to say the XTC EP, which I paid 150 quid for, plus shipping.
Right, that's actually quite a lot for a record as well, 150 quid, but everyone for their own, as I say. Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, I've sold some of my old school back in the day when I made a decision that I was sort of using my Serato more than anything, and I had a whole floor of vinyl and I was paying rent for a unit to keep the vinyl in there. And that's when I finally made the decision, look man, this vinyl is ridiculous, I don't have space for it anymore. I should have kept some gems, you know, at the time, but they were fetching good money, and the point is that I figured that if I was going to sell my collection, I would get good money for it. Simple as that. Then that way it would take away the burden. And I sold the last sort of records that I had because I had about 20,000 tunes, and I sold the last sort of X amount of tunes at a bulk price, and for that to go, I was over the moon that I had the space, but at the same time I was gutted that I sold vinyl. And even now, like, a couple of guys have said to me, oh, come and play man, it's a vinyl only gig, and I can't play a vinyl only gig now because I sold some of my old school. I sold some of the tunes that I put, you know, pretty much all of them. I've sold all of them. What am I talking about? So I say to him, man, I can't play vinyl, I haven't got any vinyl to play. My man TDK, he's got a fat vinyl collection. He's been settled for years. Me, I'm a property renter, and you know how it goes with a property renting. You're moving here, there, everywhere, and you've got vinyl, and you got to find a space for it, and it's just. And I had to check. My recording studio evolved into a print shop, and there was just no space. I just had to make a decision, and obviously things come about differently. They evolve, and now vinyl's completely hot potatoes. And what do you do, Ali Alex? What do you do, bruv?
Choosing one by one for years and years, saving for the next one. Maybe some people sell them too high for an affection, but I think others just try to make most they can out of people truly enjoying those tunes. A sort of 909,303 hype. Also vinyl after playing and playing lose some quality. I mean, am I buying a record to play or an object to collect? I hope the new pressing will involve more of those gems from the past, and also having the money to buy them.
So guys, do you think you're buying a record to collect? Do you find you're buying the tune for what it is? I mean, it's nice to be able to have something in a collection, and it's collectible. We all collect things. Yeah, the music's great. You know, like we were saying about the artwork recently as well. The artwork has to be, you know, make it a little bit collectible. Sometimes even just having an exclusive white label is still cool. You know, having a sticker. But I get what you're saying, mate. I get what you're saying. Let's have a look. Matt Prentice, my man, how you doing? Let's have a look here.
I got a Circles picture disc with the Ronnie size version on it. I wonder how much me owed Manda Mernin I used to play that though, man. The disc, that size mix was clean.
Yep, Circles is definitely a bad boy tune, man. And I hear you on that one too, mate. Let's have a look.
These days I prefer the convenience of digital, but I still buy vinyl. Mostly older D&B and jungle that never got a digital release. I try not to pay crazy prices though. Plenty of hidden gems out there for a $5 or less.
Right, let us know where you get into hidden gems for a $5, bruv. You must be one of those hunting people, man. You never know. You might be able to go to a boot sale and collect something like that. You know, pick up a piece of vinyl still.
I don't think the vinyl industry will ever get as big as it was in the 90s. But there's certainly a new niche for new school jungle that's released solely on vinyl. Sales are guaranteed as long as it's a limited edition record.
So Jamie, do you guys think, along with Jamie, do you think sales are guaranteed on records? Do you think if every vinyl that everyone presses up there would sell it? Have you pressed a piece of vinyl recently and couldn't sell it, or it just all sold out? Let us know, people. Let us know.
Will never sell my collection. I still buy new releases on vinyl and old. The max price I've paid is £50 for LTJ Bucum Pesce 19.5. My original copy was stolen, so had to replace it, as it's always been a tune I've played in DJ sets. Reply. The problem with vinyl is it deteriorates. That £200 record will be worth nothing once it's been played a few too many times.
So guys, do you think your vinyl has deteriorated? How many times have you played your tunes, man? Like, I know they get a bit crispy crunchy at the start, and it deteriorates if you don't look after it properly. I know some people that have got some immaculate vinyl, and I know some people have got some amazing clean looking box with their records kept well, and I know some people that have got like cherry bombs on their records, and marker pens all over it, and frayed out covers. So comment down below, let me know if you agree with that. Yeah,
I don't think it ever went away, the numbers just dropped. Jungle is a vinyl genre like reggae, all or nothing. For a release to have any credibility, it needs to exist on vinyl. Digital is all good for freebies or to save people ripping the vinyl, but for a release to have any chance of being taken seriously and having any lastability, it has to exist in a physical format, and with CDs pretty much finished, collectors need something to buy. I don't think people mind paying £10 for a 12 inches if they know it's a safe investment. After all, most new Jungle releases go up in value fairly quick, so you can always get your money back. With inflation doubling and price over 30 years is not that bad emo. For the record, when I say Jungle I mean breaks, subs etc, not EDM DNB, which is emo nearer mainstream dance than Jungle and very much more digital and advertising. Dread and the Baldhead is probably in the top handful of released Jungle tunes, so £150 200 is top end for the most hard to find Jungle releases. Obviously unreleased dubs and TPS by Fotuk, Dillinger, Bucum etc can be worth £300 plus, but that's extremely rare.
Personally, do you think £10 is a good price for vinyl these days to buy? Personally, I think that it's all in the hands of the artist now. Everything is independent out there. People are able to sell their tunes. I mean, back in the day, the artists used to get £2 a unit and have to sell at least 500 copies just to break even. Nowadays, if you're selling a track for like £10, it's a lot less to break even, and it makes it better for the artist. The artist is in control. They could sell it from the website. It's also quite a lot of work to ship a record. There are people that are willing to take on that pressing and distribution for you, and I think that £10 is a fair price. You let me know, people, what you think. Is £10 a good price? What's the most common price that you've paid for vinyl today and represses? Do you think it's $6.99, between $6.99, $7.99, $8.99? Personally, I think £10 better, because the artist has to sell less to break even, and it's always that lack of confidence in being able to invest in a tune and to be able to break even at least. And it's not just about breaking even as well. You know, as an artist, you want to make some money. At the end of the day, if I could quit my daytime job and make music all day long, that would be great. People want to leave their jobs and they want to make music as a career. So why wouldn't you make money doing what you're doing? It makes sense. To be able to get paid for something that you're passionate about, something that you want to, spend your life and time doing, something that you're in your dharma with. So on that note, people, comment down below, let me know your views, share with the community. What can I say, people? Take care, God bless, peace.